There are almost 4 billion women and girls in the world today. Every day, millions of them carry out acts of bravery, creativity, kindness, cleverness, and hope. Happy Women's History Month! I'm Heather from the Bay County Public Library. Welcome to Monday Morning Book Buzz. I'm here today at the Audubon Nature Preserve. Where better to celebrate the vernal equinox than right here in the heart of Panama City. This is right off State Avenue, and there's a 30-acre wetland right here, embedded in the heart of the city. There's a nature trail, doctor's pond, so many kinds of birds, plants, wildlife. I want to start with this book, her story, 50 Women and Girls Who Shook Up the World. Malala Yousafzai, who wrote the introduction to this book, said, "What is your dream? Take inspiration from these 50 amazing women and girls and shake things up." Her story was created by Catherine Halligan and Sarah Walsh. It's like a scrapbook with great illustrations. And the women are amazing. Women from all over the world, all walks of life, and all sorts of different experiences. I want to give this book as a gift or a prize. There are a million ways to be, and being yourself, the best you can be, is a sure win. Do what these women do. Give it all you got. It works. With the mashup of time, space, and talent, this book is literally a blast. Her story, 50 Women and Girls Who Shook Up the World. Now I want to talk about a couple of women who are simply but marvelously excellent writers. First, the tougher story, written with striking talent and contagious passion, Homegoing by Yaa Gyasi. I just have to start with wow. This is a first novel. It's impossible to believe because the author effectively travels between continents, over generations, through horrors and immeasurable time, and all the while remains viscerally connected with the characters who move, fully realized, through 6 generations. We start on the west coast of Africa at the Cape Coast Castle, one of over 40 facilities where captured Africans were held awaiting passage to America on slave ships. This castle is burned into the imagery of the book. Yes, horror is woven into the fabric of our history, but commonality does not make it acceptable. No greater place of torment exists in the history of humans than right here in this book. Effia is 15 years old when her father sells her to James Collins, the British governor, for £30. She becomes a wife. Effia's half-sister, Essie, is captured and placed in a pile of women in the castle to wait for her boat to slavery in America. The sisters do not know each other, even though they're the same age. Their lives are woven with exquisite and painful detail throughout the book, and they never actually cross paths. We begin in 18th century Ghana and move through pre-Civil War Alabama, and all the way into contemporary California. With amazing literary skill, the author changes the tone and language to fit the times and the setting, so we begin in what feels like legend, and we end in an everyday street conversation. The American South is unimaginably brutal, and the story is written like life, hard. No machinations or ideal characters save us from reality in this book, but the writing is marvelous. This is raw and beautiful and amazing. Homegoing by Yaa Gyasi. And now for something that won't hurt you. Writers and Lovers by Lily King. This is a novel, but it is decidedly autobiographical, published a year ago. It feels so personal that I kept checking to make sure that I had remembered correctly that it was nonfiction, that it was fiction because it reads like nonfiction. Casey's 31 years old. She lives in Boston in a potting shed, and she rides her bike 3 miles each way through the city to her job waitressing in Harvard Square. At first, it's kind of a slog. Casey's mother died unexpectedly on a trip to Chile. She just suddenly up and died. Casey can't get over this, but she doesn't tell anyone. She's afraid that she'll become that girl whose mom just died. So Casey is glum. And for a while, you hear every single detail of this restaurant, as though you, for some weird reason, have followed her to work every day and dogged her footsteps. But you also might think this is a pretty talented writer because I can see the wine glasses sweat. And she gets a fellowship to a writing colony in Rhode Island. I don't know about you, but I love writing colonies. My idea of a dream vacation is a tiny wooden cottage where I'm supposed to think and write all day, stopping only for meals. And you're not supposed to do anything else except spend your evening talking to other fascinating writers at the retreat. No one is a hero, and no one changes the world in this book. But you experience some lovely writing, jostling you through the doldrums, smiling, kind of wryly, through some awkward romance, and lifting you toward hope with a story that glitters with finesse. Writers and Lovers by Lily King. Book club is Wednesday, March 24th at 11. Email me for a link. I'd love to talk with you. I'm Heather from the library. Happy reading!